we'll talk in the next 20 or so minutes is how technology can relieve stress and increase the quality of life of your residents as well as your staff, and offer a single point of contact. So it's not so much, here's a list of phone numbers to call for everything. Here's one phone number, more of a, think of a concierge type service. Think of yesterday whenever you checked into this hotel or any hotel. Whatever you need, you call one number. You call operator usually. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know where that person resides. But all you know is you get what you need done. And that's this concept. And Sodexo, we've been using this concept in our hospital market for a few years now. And if you look at, wait, let me just back up. So Sodexo is a provider of multiple different services. And some services we use our staff for, some services we rely on the client staff for. And the idea is that for a resident, so let's just take for an example, a resident who is moving into a CCRC in an independent living. Something is changing in their life. Either it's a health issue, either it's their family situation, which is the need for them to move into this assisted living or independent living. It's a very stressful situation for them. They're changing everything they know. They're changing, obviously, their neighborhood. They're changing where they get their services done. They're changing everything. So they're being moved into this new environment. They're stressed. And then they're giving a list of phone numbers to call for whenever they need something. If it's a facility problem, you call the facility office. If it's an environmental problem, you call the environmental office. If you need an appointment with the wellness coordinator, you call the wellness center. So our concept is not so much to give them a list of services, to give them one number, usually a 4-digit dial. They just have to dial that 4 digits, and whatever they need, somebody will help them with it. And not only will they help them with it, but they'll walk them through the process and get back to them when it's either resolved or with an answer. So the concept is we become that concierge. Now, the concierge can be a combination of on-site with your people as well as our people remotely. We have regional, what we call service response centers throughout the country. But it could be virtual because it really doesn't matter. Again, back to that hoteling type environment. You don't know where you're calling, and it really doesn't matter. So it's all services. It's from, I have a need for somebody to come in and fix my sink, to I want to make an appointment for the wellness coordinator or a trainer, or I want to go on the next trip they have to the city. So again, it's just that one call. And interpreter services, interestingly, is becoming one of our hottest topics, where we tie in with the hospital or the community's interpreter services and give them that capability. So at the end of the day, the communities want to be a community of choice, a provider of choice, as well as the employer of choice. And we're able to help our clients and our communities with what we call one call does it all technology. And what it does is it drives the capacity management, the real-time performance, because again, we're increasing the quality of life, but we're also collecting all this very valuable data on the back end. So we're helping with this data collection and having real-time analysis and improving our processes by doing so. So again, as it increases communication, one call does it all. And one thing that a lot of our clients have told us is often somebody will place a trouble ticket or whatever that might be, and it goes into what they call the black hole. Who's following up with that? But put yourself in the position of a resident. I'm now 82 years old. I call because my sink is broken, or I think my sink is broken, and I don't get a response back. It could be an hour, it could be days, it doesn't matter. They're still stressed. And what they're going to do is continue to call you until that gets resolved. So isn't it better to have them have somebody they can talk to for whatever they need? And the other really cool thing with this concept is, so Miss Smith calls and says, my sink is broken, I need somebody to come fix it. And I said, that's fine, Miss Smith, we can certainly take care of that. But before I do, what'd you think of the play last week? Did you enjoy it? Did the bus pick you up on time? Was the restaurant to your satisfaction? So now I've increased that quality of care, and I've interacted with that resident at a level that it's that personal touch. So from a staff perspective, because again, this type of concept works both staff as well as resident. And they can enter it either through the phone, through an IVR, through email, through a touchscreen, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's a way of communicating. But the staff person makes the call, goes into what we call the command center, which is the service response center, and it's a maintenance issue. So it gets dispatched to maintenance. Maintenance dispatches it to a tech. The tech takes care of the problem. They close that trouble ticket. They respond back to the command center. The information is dropped down into the database, and then a phone call or an email is sent back to that nurse or that caregiver. That trouble ticket is now closed. So we close that loop. We get rid of that black hole concept. So when we talk about the impact, not only is there an impact on the service level, it's an impact on the care we're giving, but it also gives us an ability to now help with how are we addressing these issues? Do we have enough techs in order to handle the maintenance issues? Do we have enough ES staff to handle? Do we have enough whatever it is to handle? So it allows us to take a look at how long was that delay to handle that issue. Is that delay due to not enough staff? Is it because the problem was too big for us to handle? So now we're able to analyze the issues that we have and the trouble tickets we have and give better service. And as we know, data is really what drives process improvement. So by data mining, I'm now able to use this type of data. Am I employing the right labor, as what Phil talked about? Is the labor where it should be when we need it? Are we able to type of requests we're getting? So now I can start looking at how many maintenance requests are we getting, or are they particular maintenance requests that we're getting over and over again? Maybe it's too cold in all the apartments. Well, maybe we have to take a look at that. It's a problem bigger than just a thermostat. So now we're able to do that analytics. The resident demand activities. So now I know how many people are interested in that bus ride to the city. So now I can manage my activities based on what the demand is. It gives me this tool and it gives me all the data I need. The other thing it's doing is allowing us to track the call volumes, because now I know how many calls we're getting in or how many emails we get in, and I can start tracking that. And now I can start providing information back to our client. Here are the calls we're getting in. This is how long it's taking us to answer the calls. And this is how long it's taking us to close out these trouble tickets. From a data analysis standpoint in the call center, we use a tool that we call that's DC Modeler that allows us to model how many agents we need and what time zone. And if we're sharing the responsibility from the on-site staff to a remote location, we're allowed to now play with that. That's interesting. I think I'm competing with next door. And it allows us also to start tracking and start using data to give us the analytics we need. Call volumes. So when we look at what this does for us as an overall holistic quality of care and quality of life for our residents and our staff, we can streamline, we can break it out into each department and see the activity of each department easily in one centralized database. It allows us to offer a holistic approach. It allows us to offer flexibility and improve our processes over time. Again, it's a hub type of approach. It's extremely effective. We have this in about 85 of our healthcare clients today. And overall, it has been extremely effective. And as I was telling somebody at lunch, I'm running a couple of pilots now in our hospital, some of our hospitals. And with the readmits issues in the new healthcare reform, What we're doing is when a patient gets discharged, either they get discharged home or discharged to your community, we're following up with a phone call out of our service response centers. And that phone call is, are you adjusting well to home? Can I help you make any appointments with your follow-up? Do you need transportation back to the hospital, to your doctor's offices? Is there anything else I can do for you? We've cut back in a matter of, we've had this pilot running 3 months, we've seen a 2% drop in readmits in one hospital, which is, if you start thinking about the impact that these type of services, just that one call out, and again, it's that human connection. So I'm using technology, but I'm not forgoing any of that high touch. Any questions?
Services that also work with things like a
So that's a great question. So think about extending your CCRCs or your communities outside to the general area. I now can engage the local community and use this type of service that if somebody needs a handyman or if they need a roof repaired or if they need a painter, they can now call one number. And we might be able to get it from that CCRC or from that community or get it from an outside offer. But we can offer that service. And again, it extends the reach of the community. It extends, obviously, it increases the revenue, and it gives you that marketing and that touch point out beyond your 4 walls.